and we're going to learn how to use Endnote here. You should be able to see my screen. It has the main page of the library on it. If you can't see that, please let me know. We'll fix that. And then I'm just going to kind of go through the steps of how to install Endnote and get Endnote up and running. But if you have any questions, feel free to stop me and ask some questions. We're first going to look at how to get to the Endnote software, how to install it, and then I will actually pull some articles in from a database, and then we'll look at Google Scholar because I think quite a few people use Google Scholar, and then we should be just about time. If you have any questions, feel free to interrupt me at any moment because sometimes it's easier to answer that question while you're in the moment than to come back to it, 3 or 4 web pages later. Okay, here we go. So just from this main page, how I'm going to get to the Endnote. Okay, sorry. I heard something setting up here, and I don't know if, yeah. Okay, so to get to the Endnote here, we're going to look under Research and Teaching. We're going to look under Endnote. We're going to click into Sign In here. I'm going to download the platform that I need for my computer, which is a Windows. We have Windows and Mac here, so feel free to download the piece that you need. I'm actually going to go ahead and download this. I haven't downloaded that here on these computers, so we'll see it happen today. I'm in Chrome, so it's loading it up here into my little area up here. So I'm going to open this folder. One step in Windows. Let me pull that folder over here for you. That people miss all the time is that we have to extract all these files. So I'm going to right click and extract all. If you don't do this step, it will never load correctly because it needs to be able to read the key for the license for the software. So it just asked me over here, do I want to put it here? I was like, yeah, sure. So now we can see this. I can hit this. It will start the setup. Sorry, it's always on the other window. I'm just going to click next. You can see it's ready to set it up for Texas Tech. I'm going to say accept. Next. I'm going to accept this. Next. I'm going to do the typical install. I'm going to say okay. And then I'm ready to begin installation. One thing you have to do for Endnote is you have to close anything that is Windows related. So if I have PowerPoint or Word or Outlook open, I would need to close that. I don't think I have any of that open right now, so I'm going to go ahead and hit next and see what we get. It's going to go ahead and start downloading. And it'll take us just a few minutes to get this set up here. And if y'all are doing anything, it just asked me, can I change your setup? And I said yes. If y'all are getting stuck anywhere while we're doing this, we can troubleshoot if need be. So feel free to unmic and ask a question if needed. And then you can see it's just finishing up. It says finished. And then we can close up my windows here. And then I'm actually going to search for Endnote now. Let's see if I can search over here. I don't know if I can or not. Let's see. Oh yeah, there it is. Oh, I missed. All right, it's there. So now I'm opening this. So I'm just going to open that. And what I typically do was ask me a few questions over here. I say accept again. And then it's updating. So it's open to this window over here. And it's just telling me some information that is updates I'll go ahead and download those and install those real quick. And I got another window. Yes. Yes. There it goes. Yes. Ask. Would you like to make changes to your device? Yes. Okay, and it's still updating just a bit. Okay, finish. And then I'm gonna relaunch that one more time. And then it's giving me an announcement about Google Docs. So you can learn how to use this with Google Docs. We can do that. I do have it set up with my Google Docs. We may think about that. I'm not going to really read this now, so I'm going to go ahead and ignore this. And then it brings up this window. Do I want to set up a brand new library? Now, if you've never had a library, then go ahead and do this. But if you've had a library, you may want to look at the existing library. So like if you were updating from an older generation to a newer generation, you would probably do this. On this computer, I've never had a library, so I'm going to go ahead and click Create New Library. And then it's just saving it somewhere. And then I'm going to bring that across so we can see that. It keeps opening everything on the other side. So sorry, we just had somebody ask about the recording, and it will be up later. I have it on our handout page, and I'll post this new one, our workshop page, if you will, probably in the next week or so. But there's one up there right now, so you could see something there. Okay, so now that we have my EndNote library set up, I have nothing in my EndNote. We can do some setups. While we're doing that, why don't we go ahead and look at this handout here. This is where I'm talking about our EndNote online guide. So back where we downloaded information from, if we need to recap that, I'll do that real quickly for you. From the main page of the library, which is just library.ttu.edu, we're going to look under Research and Teaching, EndNote, sign in, and that's where you can get the software. Or over here on the side, you can always get online guide. And this is some of the information that I will be using. Here's a video that I just recorded in early January to be posted for EndNote 21. So feel free to use that, or I may post this one lower here on the bottom of the page for just this workshop. Okay, so here is the handout that I typically use. I'm going to download that for myself and have it ready. I'm going to pull it across there. I'll leave this one up if we need it. And then I probably will not open the PowerPoint. It's just steps of what we've covered here, what we're going to cover here today, but kind of in PowerPoint slides, if you will. So kind of step by step on what we're going to show you today. And then the other one here is this EndNote Online Web. EndNote has two products, the one we just downloaded for the desktop, and then the one that we can use online. And they call it EndNote Web, EndNote Online, EndNote Basic. So a lot of their language is, I think they kind of tried to rebrand, but didn't do a good job. So even in their help, sometimes you still see EndNote Web or EndNote Online or EndNote Basic. All three of those are the same platform, and we'll open ours in just a little bit. But before we do that, I went ahead and got this out so that we can set up some things in our account, and you'll need to use them from here. Okay, so shall we go ahead and pull in something from a basic database and see what is open here. You know what? I think we should go ahead and just open our online account. So I think I'll go back over there to our instructions and have that here. I'm going to go ahead and click here and we can set up that account. I already have an account here and I'm going to use the same account. And so I'm just going to click on this and I'll open in a new tab. And so here we are. If you're new to Endnote Online, go ahead and click this register. It's going to just take you a little bit longer to get through those steps. It has a few more questions than what I will have to be doing, but I'm going to go ahead and use my TTU account here. And then my password. I think this is this password. Let's hope that I'm right about that. Oh, I am. Hallelujah. Okay, so here we are in, let me fix my cookies, sorry. Okay, so here we are in Endnote Online, if you will. And a lot of times you land on this screen. These are kind of step-by-step information set up by Endnote, but some people tell me this is not very useful, and that's why I created this. So they're very similar, so use whichever one is most useful to you. I'm going to go ahead and click Hide Getting Started Guide, and then I will just be in my references. Now I have a lot of references here, so don't panic when you don't have any. Remember, my EndNote doesn't have any, and we'll pull some in just a second. You can see that. Okay, so I'm going to wait a minute until y'all get your EndNote Online account set up. If you are done with that, feel free to give me a thumbs up or say okay in the chat, or say I'm ready to move on. I'll give us a second longer. Maybe I'll just let y'all work on that for a couple more minutes, and instead of having you. Okay, so we have some people already. Okay, well, what if we do it this way? If you need a little bit more time, just shoot me a message saying you need a few more minutes, or raise your hand, or do something so that I know I need to wait on you just a little bit longer. Don't worry that it's taking you a minute, it's fine. Happy to have everybody move together. Maybe I will give us a few more seconds and talk about the weather. Man, I'm so excited that it's so sunny. Last week was so miserable, so gloomy. Now it's out there. I think it's supposed to be almost 70 today. That's always exciting. Okay, well then I'm going to go ahead and get back into the main library page. I'm just going to get another new tab. So I have a few different things going on. I have my handout, I have the online account, and then I have my instructions page if I needed that. And I'm just going to use our URL, library.ttu.edu. And so now I'm going to do some research. So there's quite a few of us from a lot of different places. So I may just use an academic search complete database here. On the main page, you can kind of see that me hovering under find articles here in the center. But just quickly, so you will know this information, under the personal librarians block here, you can find a way to find your subject specific information. So I'm going to click here. And you can just watch me if you want. And then I'm going to scoot down to the college that I might want to be looking at. Like I cover college education, and then I can find its subjects. Or the College of Human Sciences, which I also cover. But if you're in something like engineering, you would just be looking here and finding that information. So you can kind of explore those. And most of those will have a good list of databases that you can use for your research. And so then you're not picking from, lots of databases. You're kind of looking at things that are a little bit more subject related. But since we're all here from different places, I think I'll go ahead and use this Academic Search Complete database. That database has something in it from almost every topic on campus, every subject on campus. I can't think of anything that would not be represented there. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Academic Search Complete. And it's going to load up this database. If you haven't been into an EBSCO database recently, they just rebranded, and instead of having the circle that we're kind of all used to, they have this one line here. And I often talk about databases with EBSCOhost as being the vendor, not the name of the database, because a lot of times I'll have students tell me, oh, I was searching in EBSCO or EBSCOhost. And you really need to know which database you're in. Like this, Academic Search Complete is the title to this database. And I kind of point that out that EBSCO is kind of like Nabisco, the big vendor, and Oreo is the name of the database we want. So we want to know the name of the cookie, not the big vendor. So that sometimes is useful for you to know, because if you're asking for help from a librarian and you can say, oh, I've searched in this database and this database, then we can kind of help you, direct you. And so the more information you can give to us, the more likely we would be able to help you. Now, I typically like this advanced search, so I'm going to click on that. And then I'm just going to pick a topic here. Let's think about, let's see. I'm kind of in social sciences, so forgive me if you're not a social science person, but let's do something with maybe motor skills for kids. And so I'll do motor skills and then child development. And then we'll click a search. Oh, before I click search, I'm going to click on peer reviewed. So peer reviewed is anything that's peer reviewed, referee, jury, all that information is the same terminology. And it just means that in the panel of, it just means that those articles has been sent to a panel of experts in that field. So if that's what you're looking for, I would encourage you to do that. So anything, if you're a graduate student, I would definitely be checking that. If you are doing some specific subject research for your degree, like a junior or senior in your studies, I would do that. In fact, I would probably use this on most assignments, unless the assignment told me to look for a newspaper article or a trade article or a magazine article or a book. And so those things won't come up because it's only looking at peer-reviewed journaled articles. I would not mark this full text because that limits you just to this database. And I'll show you how you can find full text across all our materials. So let's see here. Let's go ahead and click search now. And I'm going to go ahead and use my limiters over here. I have the peer reviewed, and then I have the date range. You can type in this box, but I like to use the slider scale. So I'm going to pull that on up to 2019, let's say. Whoops, got too close. And that gives us just a little bit more than 5 years there. We're at the early part of 2024, so we'll have just a little bit more. So we still have quite a bit of information here. I kind of like to get that down a little bit. I wonder if we added another term. I want to see if we can just say building. Type it right though, and see if that would get us down a little bit. Hope it doesn't get us too far down. It got us too far down. I don't want to go that far down. Okay, I'm just going to leave it as that 800, but usually I try to get that set down to about 100. Now, sometimes in social sciences, even in sciences now, you're not going to, depending on if we are very prolific in collecting for that topic area, you probably will be at 150, maybe even just close to 200. but try to get that set down as best you can. You can even add another term here. That just allows you to get the best articles to come up to the top of your relevance. I don't want to dig through, a million. I don't want to dig through even 100, but I want the best results to come to the top of my relevance. The other thing is, if we got too low, like that 17, that probably is not a good term to add here. And so that's why I was like, oh, let's see if I can do something generic and bring it in a little bit, but I went to Pacific. So if you got down to 17 or 20 or 25, you might think about your terms up here and really broaden back out if you needed to, or use synonyms to get the items that you really want, to get a set that is really good for your searching. Okay, so I'm just going to grab some of these. We're not really doing good searching here because I would really be looking at these and looking at how to find the PDFs, or using the Find It, which is our links resolver. And it'll help you find the full text in other places if it's not here. Then, but right now we're just focusing on EndNote mostly. So I'm just going to collect these, and every database makes you collect them in a different way. Here in EBSCO, they ask you to select this blue icon, and it puts it in the manila folder. So the blue icon becomes a manila folder. And you can see it's building that folder here. I'm going to go ahead and select these first three. And I can use this folder view here or this folder view. It goes to the same place. So sometimes, depending on how wide your screen is, this doesn't always pop up. But you can always use this one at the top. So I'm just going to open this. And then if I was really doing research here, when I first started digging through those, I might have thrown some things in here that I was kind of on the fence for. But if I wanted to look back through here, I could dig and just mark the ones I want. If I know I want everything over here, I can use this top button and select all. And so if anything that is light blue will be moved over. And different places have it in different ways. So sometimes you have to do a check mark on the side in the database. Sometimes you have to move them to a marked area and then do that. If you get in a database and you can't figure out how to collect them, feel free to reach out to us and we'll happily help you figure that out. You can email me directly or reach out to your own personal librarian. Okay, so now I'm going to say I want these three to be moved. I'm going to move them over here to the export, and I'm going to click export. It's going to put me on this screen. Now, I typically make sure this button is not checked, because if for whatever reason I've done all that research and I've collected all of those items into that folder, if I just have a technical glitch here, I don't want them to be automatically removed if for whatever reason Endnote doesn't end up taking them. Now that doesn't happen often, but it's happened to me like once in all the times that I've done it. And so I just make sure that that is not there. And then over here on this side, we're going to look and see. Some people would think they would want to do this direct export into EndNote Web. Since we just set up our EndNote Online, EndNote Web, you can see the difference in the language here. But I always encourage people to use this RIS format. That RIS format is, the RIS format allows the computer to read citation. Remember, every citation is built differently in the databases. Sometimes they are, the title is in one place, the author is in another place. So we want the computer to know that this is the title information, this is the author information, and that RIS format does that. So it doesn't matter where the database puts that information, it knows to read it in that way. And you can see EndNote is sitting here, and Zotero is sitting here, and that's how you would move those into multiple different ways of our citation management tools. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click Save, because we're saving these citations to the RIS format. And it put it up here in the top. That is, Chrome puts it up here. I think Firefox does too. if you're in a different browser, just kind of look around wherever it's storing your files and find it. I'm just going to double click on this, and it will ask me which one I want to put it in. Because I have both of them open at the moment, that's why it's asking me. Otherwise, if I just had one open, it would just send it straight to that thing. So and you can see here, it's talking about EndNote Online, whereas this was EndNote Web. So just remember, EndNote Online, Web, Basic, all the same terminology. But I'm going to leave it in EndNote Plain, no Online. And I'm going to say OK, because I want them to be moved into my desktop platform that we had opened up here. So I'm going to say OK, and it's importing those. And then when I open this, it will have 3 here. So let's talk about this platform, if you will, this interface. This is what EndNote 21 looks like. It's the navy and white. I have it set up where you can see that information over here. I'm going to move this out just a bit so I can see a little bit more of this information. So this is the summary, but if I wanted to edit this citation that goes right here, I can always click on the edit, and it would let me make some changes here, and then I can click save. So occasionally you will find a citation that's wrong, that maybe the name is misspelled, or maybe the volume was entered wrong, and you just needed to change that from 240 to maybe 204, something like that, as simple as that. And I can just change that around here and then click save, or click out on the side, and it will actually save it. So I'm not going to say that because I don't want the citation to be wrong. And then I'm just going to get out here to the side, and we will know that it's in the right thing. The other thing is we can have the summary, the edit, or the PDF. If I wanted to go back and get the PDF of this item, I could attach it here, and we'll do that in just a second. But let's go ahead and leave it on here, or even on the summary where the abstract is visible. I kind of pull this down a little bit so I can see that better. So you can see this file here. Then you can kind of look at the different citations, and I don't want to change anything to that first one that I made changes to, and look at each one of those real quickly. So here we have the author, the year, the title, the journal, last update, and reference. So to me, this reference information is not that useful, and this last update is not needed at all. So I always spread this out just a little bit longer so I can see the journal and even the title to the article. And you do that however you want to do that. And then sometimes I make this little icon a little bit smaller if I can. Maybe I can't because it doesn't have a paperclip over there yet. That's where you would see the PDF if it was attached. So these 3 have come into my imported references. You can see they're also in my all references. And until recently, if you had anything in the imported references, you had to make sure you were filing that somewhere else so that it would stay. But I think they've corrected that, and so just because it's in the import, it's already in the all references. So we could make a group here. The all references are stored here, and a new group. To make a group, I would just click on groups, create a group. And these are just like folders or files, like your email. You can store these in different ways. Some people like to have it by the classes, maybe the project. Some people like to have it by the area, like if you're working on a dissertation. Some people want to put the literature review in one spot and other resources in another spot. So feel free however you want to do that. I'm just going to go ahead and label this something simple. Whoops, we have somebody come. And sorry, since I clicked over there, renamed it, let me just get rid of this one. Yeah. I'll just rename this group. Okay, so I'm just going to name this skills actually, because I'm actually going to import mine from my online account. And I already have a motor skills there, so I'm just going to leave it as skills here. And so since I've created this new group, I can take these imported ones and highlight them in a Windows platform. If you just do the control, you can pull it over. And I think on Mac, if you just do the command, it will work. I'm going to pull this over and put them into my skills, so that now I have 3 in the skills. So that's why I know I can file that around if I needed to or wanted to. All right, let's go ahead and attach the PDF to one of these. To get the PDF, I have to go back to the database. I'm going to click back. I'm going to find the PDF that goes with one of these. I'm going to just grab this one, the Victoria, as the author. Download that. Save it somewhere where you can find it again. And then I'm going to go back to my EndNote and get the right one. Victoria is the author. Do the PDF, do attach the PDF. And then it should be in my desktop, or I think it's actually, let's see here. It's in my OneDrive on this computer, maybe not. Let me see if it will let me pull that over. I gotta get the glasses out now. Let's see here. Oh, we're in the wrong folder. Let's see if I thought I put it in my OneDrive. Let's see if it's in the documents or in my downloads. Here's downloads. Yeah, there it is. So I'm gonna say open. And of course, I can always rename this retrieved. It's not needed. But now you can see that I have attached the PDF here. I can, yes, update it because I want the attachment there. And now I have a little paperclip there, and I can read the PDF here. I can also pop this PDF out with this little pop out and read it in its own window. Oh, I popped it out over here. Let me just pull it over there. And then the nice thing about EndNote is you can use this little tool window. If I click on this, it gets another toolbar. So if I wanted to highlight something, I could highlight that area. Or if I wanted to make a little comment, I can get a comment by clicking on that, clicking over here. Maybe it's showing up and I can't see it. Hold on. There it is. And then I can just get in there and then type whatever. Now this might be useful to you as you're, sometimes I cannot remember everything that I'm reading. And so maybe I want to put this in the lit review. So I put lit review here and the highlight the topic, whatever it's motor skills or something that is a true quote. Maybe I would put that quote down here, or at least a concept so I can remember, because then I can also search this comment. And I'm just going to go ahead and close that, and it will be stored here, and it will be here or wherever I put that comment. And now if I close this and say yes, and it's indexing it, and then it's stored that highlight and that comment. So the nice thing about EndNote is then you can go back and do some searching here. Under advanced search, I can look up my author or my year or my title. I can also use any field in PDF with notes. So that note is what that is. So I'm going to click that, and then I can type in lit review, and it should pull this up, although it is already highlighted. Let's see if we put that over there, what it will look like. See, it pulls up right, the one that we were saying that we needed. So I think that is really useful. It helps me as I'm writing, and it saves me time to be able to find those pieces that I'm looking for that section, or whatever I'm calling that heading maybe, or how I'm storing my research. If I divide them up and say, here's the lit review, or here's this topic, or whatever I'm doing, it helps me a lot. Okay, so those are how do you get some items in our EndNote. And then we're back on our main all references. Let's go ahead and look in how we are going to pull some things in from Google Scholar. I'm just going to get another window open here. And I'm going to go Google Scholar. And I try to show this one because it is so different from a database that a lot of times if you're having a hard time with another database, between these two platforms, you would be able to see the two ways you could pull that information in. So in Google Scholar, you can only move one over at a time. So that is one thing that is a little bit annoying to me. In a database, you can move 20, 30, whatever you want over. And here, you only get to do one at a time. But I do like using Google Scholar, especially when I marry it to the library. So we have the power of Google searching with the power of the library, so I know I have good authoritative resources. But and it's really useful. A lot of times a professor will say, hey, read this article, and they'll just give you the titles of the article or the author, and you can find it here, as opposed to searching a lot of different databases. Or if you're really trying to do the most current research, maybe you've been working on your dissertation and you had done some research like in November, and then you're really putting it all together now, and as March rolls around, you might want to just do a quick recap on the research. This is a good place to do that most current research search right before you get done. And so I always encourage people to do that. So I'm going to show you how to set up Google Scholar to marry with the library, and then how to set up your citations to be downloaded into EndNote. So we have to do 2 steps here. We're going to get into our 3 lines up here in the corner. Then we're looking for settings, and it's usually at the bottom of this page. And then we're going to look for library links first. And it's the middle link here in the menu. So we're on library links. And now I'm going to type in Texas Tech and nothing else and click search. And so what I want to mark is this Texas Tech University Libraries FT at TTU Lib. That means full text at TTU Lib. So feel free to mark that. And if you have this open WorldCat marked, that's fine. That is just a large catalog that most of the world participates in now. So feel free to have that. And if we own that item, it will revert you back to our library. I'm not going to mark the Health Science Center or the law school because I don't have online privileges with those schools or those libraries. I can walk into those libraries and use them if I'm here in Lubbock, but I can't get access to their materials online. So now I'm going to click save so we can save this setting. But then I have to do one more setting to get it set up to move into EndNote. So I'm going to click on that 3 lines again, go to settings, and down here we have to tell it what bibliographic manager we're using. And so I'm going to be using, I know this is confusing, but we're going to do the RefMan because RefMan makes it do RIS format. EndNote does not, RefWorks does not, but RefMan does. So we want it to be RefMan RIS. And so that's the format we're choosing to use in all our places, on Google Scholar, in the databases, the .RIS format. I'm going to click save, and then I'm going to do search. I'm just going to do the same search we ran in there, in child development. Okay, so here you can see, if I wanted to read this, instead of clicking here in the open web, where it might make me pay $35.95, now I can come over here and use this FT at TT Lib. I can click on that. That's our link reads over for the library. That redirects us back to the library, and it allows me to find the PDF quickly. So one thing you do need to know about EndNote or Google Scholar, you have to click back because it doesn't populate to a new window. The other thing is now I want to use this to pull that into EndNote. So import into RefMan, we're going to click on that. It's going to throw my citation up into the download. You can see it has done the Scholar in the .ris format. So now I'm going to click on this. I'm going to still let it go into my regular EndNote, not the online, and say OK. So now I have a new one imported, and again, I can look at that information at the summary or to edit it, however I want to do that. If I wanted to put the PDF here, just attach the PDF. I'm not going to take the steps to do that here. We just did that. So I think you've got that all settled. But let's go ahead and look at getting these synced up with our online account. So if you had set up your online account already, we're going to move over here under File, under Edit. It's the second menu in. We're looking for Preferences. We're going to now look for the sync option. And this information is on our handout. Let me pull that information up again. So we're down here in our sync, the sync with our library here. The sync with our EndNote, the software program, and our online account. I'm going to put in my account that I just set up for the online account. Remember, I was using my account that I'd already used. And I'm going to put in my email address and then the password that I entered to create that. And then I'm going to make sure that we're going to click Enable Sync. Oh, and we need to put it in here. And my password again. I'm sorry, I mistyped. And say OK. As authorizing, I want to make sure this says sync automatically so that every time I open EndNote, it will automatically check with the online account as well. And so that they will always be synced together. Maybe I added something to the online and it needs to pull it down onto my desktop. Maybe I added things to my desktop and it needs to push it up to the cloud and be synced. So now I'm going to push apply. But before I do that, I have quite a few in here. So I wonder if maybe I won't push apply because I don't want it to take forever for those to come down. But maybe I will do that at the end and y'all can see those come across. I think I have like close to 10,000. So, but I would push apply and then OK. And then you would see it blink a little bit and find that information for us. So I'm going to go ahead and close this and wait to do that at the end if y'all want to see it. You don't have to stay around for it if you don't want to, because it probably will take a second. Okay, so the other thing that I think we need to talk about is finding the full text. This right here. You need this part of the handout, and you have to type it exactly like this and exactly like this. So we need both these two pieces. And you can't click on it because it will just run the search without the ending. And so you need to make sure you're typing that just perfectly into that. So I'm going to go ahead and open my EndNote and get that to pull up. So that is also under Edit in the Preferences, under Find Full Text. So my open URL path is that first one. I'm going to move it around here so I can see it on my other side here. And then I'm going to type those two lines in there. So the first one is the number, under number 4, under Find Full Text is the open URL path. And number 5 is the authenticate with. So I'm going to type that all in there. I'm trying to, not kidding. not doing that. Let me type it the long way. Sorry, guys. I wonder if y'all are having a hard time too. You can see I'm slowly going across there, and then we have to get these numbers and the letters right. And make sure you put the ending punctuation, whatever that is, the question mark in the top line and the equals in the bottom. So now I'm just going to go ahead and continue to type the bottom one. And oops, yeah, N, not an M. I mean, an M, not an N. I think we're good to go. Oops. All right. Okay, so this I will go ahead and make this applicable. So I am going to automatically find the full text as I pull in new things. So if we do this and we have it set up, anytime I import something, it will try and find the full text. So I don't have to manually attach the PDFs. And then I'm going to push apply, and I'm going to say okay. And then we're going to see it do its thing here. So I think under file, the first time we have to tell it to do find full text, and then it should automatically run. That shouldn't be coming up. Let me try again. Okay, let's see. Maybe we don't have anything in here that should be running. I'm going to try the authenticate one time and see. Yeah, that's done. Let me see if I can find a few more from EBSCO, because it doesn't find everything. It does find a lot of things. So I'm going to go ahead and get back on my database, and we took those first three. So I'm going to uncheck mark them, and then let's see if I can just find a few things that will cause that to trigger when we get in there. Let's see if that'll be enough. Y'all can copy me and do this, or don't do this, that's fine. I just wanted to see the options if we can make it trigger. I mean, usually you're pulling in quite a bit, so. A quick review wouldn't be too bad anyway. So we pulled in 4, and then let me make sure. Oh, there. See, it's flashing and doing its thing. So it did find the 1. So it just is however many it can find, it will do that. It's not going to find everything, but it's going to find more. And what I do a lot of times is when I do searching, I pull in whatever I want to pull in. I run the full text. Now that it's set up this way, it should automatically be pulling those in. Look, it's indexing the PDFs. It found another one. And so it will keep doing that until it finds all of them. But then after it hasn't found those things, then I can pull the one in if I want to that is full text. Or sometimes you have to interlibrary loan things, and then if you get something from an interlibrary loan, you can add the PDF up here by attaching it. So I'm going to go back to all our references, and so we attached one and it found 2. So those are what it found, and it even gives you kind of a synopsis here so you can see that. Okay, Then the last thing that I think we should really do is kind of maybe sync with your online account. Oh, we did set that up for you. Let's see here. Is there anything that we wanted to discuss in the account? And if you have been syncing with your account, when you get over here, you should have a few things here now. You would have to refresh that and it will send it up here. I'm not going to do that again because I have so many in here that I think it will take us a long time to see that. But if you have any questions on that, if yours didn't sync, let me know. We can kind of troubleshoot that together. But remember to refresh your browser because it's been doing that work in between. Okay, and then the last thing that I think is always useful is talking about how Word works with Endnote. And that's so you can cite while you write. And that is really nice. Quite a few citation managers do that now for us. So Endnote will do that. Endnote will work with with Word and Google Docs now. And so we can talk about that. But also Zotero does that. Mendeley, my understanding, is still only working in Word. So, okay, let's go ahead and open Word. I'm going to just get a Word document open. Let's pulling it over here. Hold on. Okay, let me get it over here. Sorry. So now you should be looking at my Word document. Does everybody see that? I hope that if y'all don't see a Word document here, you would tell me. Up here in the top corner, it's put in a new tab. And that's why we have to have all the Microsoft products closed because it puts in this tab in your Word platform or interface. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And this is what we're going to use as we're start while we write. So I'm going to just pretend like I'm typing a paper. Well, I should say on motor skills, if we're going to cite those. So then if I needed to cite something, I put my cursor wherever I wanted it to be, the citation, and then I'm going to click Insert Citation. And then because I created that folder that says Skills, it will find that folder, or it could find an author, or it could find a year or the title. Anything that you can think of, it will find it for you here. So I'm going to search, click Find. So it's found that information. So here are the 9 things that I have in my folder. And I think I will go ahead and do, let's go ahead and do Zang here at the bottom. And then I'm going to click Insert. And it's thinking about it. And it's put it in there. Now, what did it do? Oh my goodness, that's a lot of information. That's not everything. That's too much. What we need to look right here is under annotated. We don't really want an annotated. I would like to use APA 7th or Chicago or maybe Vancouver, depending on what your platform is. I'm going to use APA 7th as that's the default on campus unless your professor tells you something else. So I'm going to click on that. And now it's automatically updated that information. And it's put the citation down here. And I just usually give myself a little bit of space and then keep on typing my paper. And then maybe make another citation. I'll say insert again. And then I'm going to, I use the Zing, so that's not going to be useful. Cameron. And then if for whatever reason I needed to rearrange my paper, I'm just going to move this down and around. I'm going to put my period after my citation there. Now I'm going to update my citations and bibliography. And you can see, even though I have Well, that wasn't useful as it wasn't. But APA wants these to be alphabetized, and so even if they're not alphabetized, they're alphabetized down here. And so a lot of times I use a different suggestion here. Let me, I'll do an earlier one. Let's see. Uh-oh, that's not what we wanted. Let me see if I can take this one out and insert a new one. But I want to find skills, that's what I called it, and do, let's see, Kavanaugh might be a good one. Yeah. So now it's actually put in Zhang and Kavanaugh. If I needed that to be out of there, I'd have to actually edit that citation and say, oh, I don't really need Zhang here, so remove this citation and say, okay, and there it is. So let's go over that again. If I ever think I need to edit something, I just highlight the one I need to edit, use the edit and manage citations, and then edit that. So sometimes maybe you have a true quote and you need to put in the pages. So here I could put in the quotes for Cameron under here and put in page, 95, let's say, and say, okay. And that makes sense because Cameron has 93 to 98. So then my quote would really be on page 95 or whatever it is. Let's say I needed to add, I needed to change something. Maybe I noticed that Megan's name is misspelled. Maybe it's really Megan, not Megan. I cannot change that here, as if I try to do that, whoops, it will automatically update that again to Megan. Where I have to change that is back into my EndNote. I would have to find that one here and was that Kavanaugh? And edit and then change it here. If Sarah's last name was really Megan instead of Megan, I would want to make that change here and then save it. I'm not going to do that because I don't want it to be wrong, but that's how you would make that change. And then it would port it over here. Because remember, anything that is being shown here in Word, it is already in the EndNote, and that's where it's pulling from. So, does anybody have any questions about how to use it in Word? And we got done quite early. Is anybody interested in looking and seeing how it's working with Google Docs? Shall we try to explore that? I think I'm going to have to download the extension. Okay, yes, we see yeses. All right, so I'm just going to get another tab open. And so see, I'm not signed in. Oh, okay. Go ahead and have your question. Do you want to type it here? Or you want to ask it? I thought you unmuted. I can barely hear you. How can I cite a site? Okay, so she has a good question. Before we get out of there and get into Google Docs, let's maybe talk about that. So to cite a site, you would have to build the citation yourself. There is a extension. When I say extension, this is what I mean in Google or in the browsers. They're calling those add-ons, extensions now. And I think it's called Click. Let's find out together. It's not my favorite, so we'll see what it is. Now Click. Yes. So this is what you need. You need to find Endnote Click plugin and to pull that in. Let's see if I can get that to come in here. Oh, look, yes. Okay, so I will turn that on. And then now let's see if I can find something from, now I'm going to go back to my, since I have that on, I'm going to go back to my thing and then find something that I need to cite. Let me think of something good that I can think of quickly. What if we did motor skills from Eric, maybe? I don't know if we can find anything. Okay, here's the Department of Education. Let's say I was gonna cite, well, I need to find one of these. Okay, that's really a database. Let's see here. There's something. What about if I say motor skills, child development, and maybe stats? What if I say something like that? That might be good. Oh yeah, this is National NIMH. So let's see if this will come in here. Very nice. This is still a citation, so I mean, this is an article. I would just cite the article. I'm trying to find a good website that might come up that is not a true article. Oh, like who? Oh, yes, thank you, thank you. Let's do who. Let's see. Who is good? That's World Health Organization. Great, that's perfect. Thank you for that. I was just blanking out there for a second. Okay, so let's say I looked at this graph. Or even I wanted to cite this whole site. I think how I can do that now is there should be a click now here that'll let me see that. Maybe it won't let me see all of those extensions. Let me see if because it should have the little icon up here. Maybe I will not get to do that because it's managed by my organization, but your home one should be able to do that. And then you would see this little icon, and it should be in this area. Let's see if it will let me get some more icons here. I don't know. Or is there a keyboard shortcut? It's on all sites. I say pin to toolbar. It's not pinned to the toolbar. There we are. Okay, so let's pretend we're back on who. Are we over here? Here. We're back on who. Then I'm going to click this little thing. It's going to want me to sign in and get with an account. Let's see how long that takes us to get in. So this should be that same account that we were putting up already. Let's see if it will work with our Endnote account now. I don't think it's a completely separate account. Oh, what is this? It's this. Let's see if I'm right. Oh yeah, okay. So never, and then let's find the first PDF. Well, no. I thought it really would just take that citation and put it right into your EndNote. Well, maybe it won't. So if you need to, then you may have to build the citation yourself and be back into here. You would manually put in a reference, a new reference, and then you could say, oh, this is a website, and put web page at the bottom, and then type in who would be the health organization, World Health Organization here, what year, whatever year they published it, and then probably access date, which would be technically today's date. And you can look that up in your citation manual. In APA, that would be the APA manual, or if you're in Vancouver or Chicago or MLA, you would have to see what the pieces they would need. And so then you can see, I don't have all the pieces here, but I can still save this. And then, yes. And so it is listing that here, and I can go ahead and make some different edits there whenever I needed to. And then if I was back in Word, I could still get that to come up just by typing in who, and it will find who. Now it won't have all the pieces because I haven't put in all the pieces, but that's how you would cite a website. I really thought that click would be a one-stop shop. That's why I thought it would be easier, but yes, sure. But maybe it's not as easy as I thought. You used to just be able to click it and it would suck in the citation for that website. But maybe I'll play around with that and put some a quick video on our instructions. Maybe I could just do a quick demo on Click itself and how to build some websites. Okay, so now let's also get into Google Docs. So let me see if I can find my Google Drive here. I think it is seeing me a bit. So if I type in Google Drive, will I get into that? Maybe I have to sign in for that. I'm not sure I want to do that here. Yeah. And let's see if under my extensions, I thought it had Google Docs here. So I was hoping that that would just trigger that into there. Wait. Yeah, maybe I don't have that set up very well for everybody to see that. Let me move it over here real quick and see if I can get that signed in and to a place that I think would be good for all of us to see. Let's see. Yeah, golly molly, what is the password here? I'm gonna guess this. I don't know about y'all, but I don't always, I just leave that one signed in. And so I may not have my, yeah. Maybe it's this. Let's try that. Okay, I can't even get into my Google account. I'm sorry about that because that would sure be fun to play around with. And I had it up at the office. Let's see. I'm going to try one more time, see if I can get my password to come up. Okay, yeah. Okay. Mhm. Hmm. You know, we're in the basement too. I don't know if I have enough notification to get that. Maybe I can try another way. Okay, I'm going to try one more thing and then let's see if that is. Oh, yeah, that worked. Okay, sorry about that. I could not get the notification because we're here in the basement. It's not great Wi-Fi. All right. Okay, I think we. Use Louise. Okay, I'm gonna keep looking at this real quick and see if we can get this in. Let's see. Okay, let's see here. Let's see what's asking now. I just want to go to. Well, maybe I cannot get into that. Let me see here. Oh, what's happening? Oh, here, this is what I want. So many things on top, I cannot see. There we are. There we are. Okay, let's see if we can find a new doc. And now I think I can share this with you that it would be okay. All right, we got in there. That took us a minute. So I do have my extension here. You have to open Google Docs. So however you get into your Google Drive to get to your Google Docs, that's where we're starting at now. I'm going to dismiss this. And so you can see that it has a lot of stuff in here to be helping you with. But under extensions, under extensions, you need to click on add-ons, and then you need to get add-ons, and then you would need to be looking for your EndNote. Look for EndNote here, and this is the one you want. I'm not going to add it again because I already have it installed. But you would have to click on this and add it or install it here. And close this, and you can see mine is right here, and I can say click open. And it is working with my online account. And it's going to ask me to sign into that same online account that we've been using all today. So you can see the benefit of using the online tool. And then I just like the desktop version a little bit better. So if I'm writing at my home computer, then I can, in my office, I can use that. That's my preferred one. But if I am at another location on campus, or actually at my house, or at maybe I've been at a conference, I need to do some edits for a paper, or I'm at home with my parents or my sister's house for Christmas, then I can also use this to be online. So I'm just going to sign in with my EndNote password that I set up earlier today. My TTU email address is my email address, and then the password that I created a long time ago, you created yours today. And a sign in is going to sync those accounts around. And you can see here's my citations. So if I was writing a paper here, so now I can click over here and type in here, because my folder is actually motor skills, not the one that I have here on the desktop. I'm going to type in motor skills, and it's going to pull up the things that I have here, and I can find the one that I needed. Here, let's about this one. Let's look at this. I'm going to click that, insert citation, and it's going to put it in here. Now, it's not supposed to have those wiggly ones. Let's see if we can get that to clear. Let's say apply. That seems interesting. This sometimes happens in, maybe update. Oh, there it goes. So I guess it just applies it in those squiggly ones, which that always makes me panic, clearly. And then we can say that. So notice here, this says it's a reference list. I really thought that our APA style, let me see if I can say manage style citations and the settings. It is APA. I really thought that should say, maybe it is reference list, but I thought it just said references, not reference list. So I want to check on that. But I have to get my manual out to do that. But let's go ahead and get another reference here. I'm going to keep typing and say, and we'll be discussing something. And let's do another citation. I'm going to do motor skills. Let's see what we can find here. Let's hear. Do this one. Insert citation. Okay, it's still in the wiggly, but as soon as I hit update citations, it's going to put it down below. And I wonder if it's allowing you to do that so that if you needed to add a citation here, I could say edit that citation maybe and get a second citation. Let's see how that would work. Let's see. What if we could put Zhang here also? Would it know to put those two together? Because they don't look like they're really together. Oh, it did. It did. That's good. So that's how you would be using it in Google Docs. And I really think that if you're new to this product, you might stay in here quite a bit because of, as you're sending things around, it's almost easier to send a Google Doc around and let everybody edit on that one thing than, Word sometimes is really a mess. But remember, if you're really looking at your dissertation, Word templates are set by the graduate school, and you have to turn it in that way, not from Google Docs. So don't live your life in here and then like the last 2 days think, oh, I'm just going to drop it in Word and it will all work out. I think that you would be shocked to find there's going to be some formatting issues. So think about that. But if you're just putting into a paper or you're trying to put into a journal article like you're going to submit it, I think all of that would be fine because as long as you get the formatting right from whatever style they want you to be using, I think you would be okay here. Did anybody else have any questions like Doreen? I think you were the one that wanted to see the Google Docs. Did we cover everything in Google Docs that you wanted to cover?
Yeah, thank you very much.
If you have any questions, let me know on mic or type it here. Is there anything that we wanted to cover today that or you wanted to ask or needed to know about and we haven't covered it today? We want to kind of tackle that. Or did anybody get stuck somewhere and they can't get the software to work? I have until 4 to troubleshoot with you if you need me to, and we can get you up and running. But if nobody else has any questions, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. I'm going to give that a second. Okay, great. Thanks, guys. Okay, great. Great. Sounds like y'all are doing okay. Remember, the EndNote handout right now, the guide, has, where is that? It must be here. Too many windows. Oh, yes, I put it back over here. Let's see here. Remember this handout that we were using at the beginning, it has a video right here, just basically what we covered. Although I do think we covered Google Docs a little bit more here. So I may replace this one with the one here today. But that should be up in about a week or so. And if you have registered with your TTU email address, I'll be sure to send that out to you in an email when it's completed. It takes a minute for that to kind of get its transcript ready. So we're supposed to post those only with transcripts for accessibility reasons. And so I can't just turn around and give it to you right this second. So, okay. Let's see. I want to make sure that there's anybody else asking something. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording then.